Howdy folks, I'm Debonair Donner, dutifully donning darling dresses.
I'm Amber.
And here are more darling dresses for us to don. We look very cute today. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Fiance to Stop Intruding into My Family? I'm a 26-year-old female, and I've been with Tom, a 25-year-old male, for almost 4 years, and we've been engaged since May. I love him. He's handsome, kind, funny, and charismatic, cultivated, and so very popular among, well, everybody. Just a little annoying thing. He always challenges himself to learn new things. The kind of guy who one day will decide to try and learn piano, or a new language, or read all of the books by an author, usually succeeds. Actually, he doesn't pressure me to do anything, nor neglect me or the house. But I don't know, sometimes I feel exhausted living with him. Last year, I wanted us to move closer to my family before getting engaged. Tom insisted on really getting to know my family. I love my family, but I was wary because they hated my previous boyfriend. Turns out that I was wrong. They all adore Tom. Even my overprotective big brother told me that he's the one. My dad and Tom go running around together. They proposed for me to tag along, but I don't like it. And even talked about doing a marathon next year. This month, I took 3-week vacation to travel a little bit. Tom wanted to tag along, but I wanted some much needed time to myself. He was sad, but accepted. I wasn't always on my phone during the trip, but I saw Tom spent quite a bit of time with my family. My sister-in-law got a promotion and celebrated it at a restaurant with my family. I was surprised to see Tom there. My mom even added him to the WhatsApp family chat. I know that my sister-in-law is in it as well, as spouses of cousins, but in my opinion, this is a bit much. An interaction in the group chat that really made me mad was when Tom shared some home improvement stuff that he did. My brother asked if he didn't feel too lonely at home, and he responded, "Nah mate, living the dream, lol." Then he tagged me and said, "When the cat isn't here, mouse dance," with lol emojis. I felt like he was mocking me. Moreover, he took a liking to my sister, a 19-year-old female, and she is in second year of med school. Tom is a resident in pneumology and is becoming a role model for her. He helped her with classes a few times, and when I was away, he even managed to get her to attend some consultations and some surgeries. When I came back, I confronted him to tell him that I wasn't happy with him at all. He apologized for the joke and told me that he didn't want to upset me. I said that he's too intrusive with my family and should leave sister to fend for herself with her studies just like I did. He strongly disagreed and said while I'm his #1 priority, there is nothing wrong with building a good relationship with my family, and that he's just helping a fellow med student to discover her future job. I got angry and I left the conversation. I told my story to my brother. He said that I overreacted and created my own problems. My parents say that I'm ridiculous and I should be happy for my sister because she greatly benefits from Tom's guidance. My friends side with Tom too. I'm torn about this. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
I mean, yeah, I think Opie's the jerk, but more importantly, Opie, I think you need therapy to address your jealousy issues. It's very clear here that there's some kind of jealousy or insecurity going on that is affecting OP's feelings toward Tom. Either she feels afraid that her family's going to like him better and basically replace her, or she just feels insignificant compared to him because no matter what he does, it seems like he picks it up quick and everyone loves him.
I mean, I can understand her feeling maybe like he's becoming more like a person of the family than she is. Maybe she's not as well liked in the family and she feels a little jealousy in that respect. And it also sounds like she might be jealous of the relationship between Tom and her sister in particular. Maybe she feels like this is like the precursor to cheating or something like that. I do agree with you that maybe she should talk to a neutral third party about her feelings and try to work these things out.
Yeah, well, my speculation with the sister is that, like, it sounds like she probably didn't have a lot of help going through college, and so she kind of doesn't think it's fair now that her sister gets help. There's some definite jealousy going on if things aren't exactly the same for her and everyone else.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think that this is a pretty good sign that she's just jealous in general, and it sounds like Tom is a great person. It sounds like she left him alone in a new area where the only people that he knows is her family. And she kind of expects him to do what while he's there? Nothing? I don't know. I think that it's a little odd that she's this worked up about things.
Yeah, well, and like you can argue whether or not the joke was in poor taste, but like if that's the worst of what he does, like he apologized. Hopefully, he won't tease you again. I mean, because he literally tagged her, so it wasn't like he didn't mean for her to see it.
No. I think that he was just making light of the situation. And, he's finishing up projects and doing stuff and making a mess or whatever, right? And I don't think that this is that big of a concern. And again, like, she can be offended by the joke if it feels like that. I mean, you can't help how you feel. But again, the rest of this just feels like she's a jealous individual. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Latent says, info, I'm trying to understand the problem. Are you afraid that they like him more than they like you? Are you concerned that if you break up, they won't be able to accept that you have made your own choices about what's right for you if they love him too much? It might be a good idea to talk to someone uninvolved from the issue, like a therapist, so that you can untangle your feelings and figure out why you're upset. And OP replies, no, I know my family loves me, and I'm sure they would support me whatever I do. It just like they always do. I guess I didn't imagine that Tom would be that close to them. Sure, I was hoping that they would get along fine, but not like that. My sister-in-law has been married with my brother for years, and she get along fine with my parents. But at this point, they already have a closer relationship with Tom than her. And what's the problem?
Right.
And Nad Stereo says, no jerks here. This reads as if, and correct me if I'm wrong, you really don't want to be with him. Or maybe you're having second thoughts about marriage, but perhaps haven't examined those feelings yet. If it feels exhausting now, it'll almost certainly be exhausting in 5 years down the line, or even 20. And OP replies, I really want to marry him. It's just that sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Like, it's the fiance show, and I'm just a mere side character. So it sounds more like she's actually just jealous of her partner in general. Alright, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Throwing Out a Book That My Girlfriend Owned? I just had a big fight with my girlfriend over me throwing out a book that she owned. For a little context, my girlfriend is an active Pokemon card collector, and the book was basically her collection of cards. There were a lot of old cards in it too, allegedly. Context on why I did it. Me and my girlfriend wanted to gift each other our Christmas gifts earlier, since we won't be able to see each other this Christmas. We agreed to give our presents over the weekend, basically on the 1st or 2nd of December. I bought my girlfriend her present this week, and I don't know when she bought mine. When I came back today from work, I just wanted to relax and play my PS4, which I didn't use for a while since I was a lot more busy than usual due to a big project. But I noticed that my PS4 wasn't there. Of course, I was mad because of that, and I called my girlfriend, and I asked her where it is, since she usually cleans out our apartment, and she said that she took it. I was really angry about it, and I just hung up the call and searched for that stupid Pokemon collection book, which I then threw into the trash because she takes away my PS4, then I can take away her cards. My girlfriend then came back home and cooked like usual, ate with me, and went to her hobby room. When she noticed that I took her book, she asked me what happened to it. I replied that I threw it out, since she did that to my PS4, and she began to sob. I don't know why. From what I could understand between her sobbing, she had taken my PS4 to her brother's house to keep it there for a little while, so that she can surprise me with a PS5. I was still mad at her, but because of that, I wasn't anymore. I mean, my PS4 wasn't broken, and I'll just get a PS5. So I apologized to her because I threw the book out and said that I would help her get a new pack of cards, but she's still mad at me. With all that context, am I the jerk for the way I acted? And there are a couple of, I think, relevant comments here. Fuzzy Mike says, info, why didn't you go to the trash bin and retrieve the book from where you had thrown it out? And OP replies, I didn't throw it in our trash bin since I knew that she would search for it and retrieve it. So I threw it into some random city trash bin. And Fuzzy Mike replies, and neither of you went to check that city bin after you found out about the PS4? Did you continue to withhold information about the book after she told you about the present? And OP replies, I told her what bin I threw it in. I don't know if she found it again or not. She didn't tell me. Instead of searching for it himself. And the Grab 452 says, info, what exactly did she say when you asked about the PS4? I'm wondering what sort of aggressive statement she must have used on you. And OP replies, she said that she took it, and when I asked why and where it was now, she said that she didn't want to tell me. And Cool says, you're the jerk, but she sure sounds pretty dumb anyways. Why would she have taken your PS4 away and leave you with nothing until you get your PS5? It makes no sense. And OP replies, my girlfriend said that she gave it to her brother so that he can paint it for me. She didn't think that I would notice since I haven't used it in a while. Alright folks, what do you think?
Yeah, OP, you're definitely a jerk. While I understand being upset that your property has been taken, the appropriate reaction is not to go and take some irreplaceable item from someone else and throw it out. I hope the girlfriend breaks up with him because it's very clear that, when something goes wrong, he goes scorched earth.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I can understand him being upset that his PS4 was taken, right? But a PS4 is an object that can easily be replaced in the respect that you can go to a store, you can buy a new PS4, you can tell her that you want money for the PS4, and maybe there are things on it that can't be replaced, I'm not sure, maybe like video game save states and whatnot, but I think a lot of that stuff has moved online, so I don't even know if that's the case. I don't have a PS4, so I don't know if any of the games are saved out in the cloud or anything like that, but I know a lot of that stuff is now, so it seems like there's a good chance that OP would have been pretty quickly able to recover from a lost PS4, whereas this collection of cards would have been a lot harder to obtain.
Yeah, and also on top of that, she didn't say it was destroyed. He had no evidence that he wasn't getting it back, period. He just immediately jumped to, I'm going to throw out your possessions.
Yeah.
And so, he's just not a good partner. And what she did wasn't necessarily the best way to handle things either. She was trying to make a surprise, and she didn't handle it very well.
Yeah.
He could have asked her for more information, been like, I really... you can't take my PS4, I'm either going to need that back or a replacement, but to, again, throw out something of hers that is irreplaceable was just not the way to go.
Yeah, I think that he really just went a very extreme route, and again, even judging from his position, if someone had stolen something like that from me, the worst I think that would have happened is, a breakup, right? And if you can't respect my property, you can't respect my stuff, then I'm going to leave and I expect you to pay me back for this object.
Well, and he took not only, not just any random item from her, like an equivalent gaming console.
Yeah.
No, he went and found something that he knew was deeply meaningful and sentimental to her.
Yeah, well, let's just kind of contrast the things. A PS4 he rarely plays and that she thought she could probably take to the brother's house and get it back before he noticed, versus a collection of cards that she's been working on for a long time and notices immediately when it's gone.
Although I wonder, how big is this binder she's been collecting for that long?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems odd that he would take and throw out a whole binder like this. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck to OP's girlfriend.
Yes.
Alright folks, and our next letter is an update. Am I the jerk for leaving the church even though they said that they can't run service without me? This is the letter that we read just a couple of days ago where OP was basically running the music of the church and they are now unable to have their services, allegedly, because OP doesn't want to do the music for them anymore. And this is because the church basically came out as anti-gay and OP is gay. Edit/update. First, thank you to everyone who responded to the original post. It has put a ton of things into perspective for me. I was a volunteer for all 6 years that I did the music for the church at. I didn't even know that some people got paid to do music for the church. I was under the assumption that everyone did it as a volunteer. When I originally started doing music, it was supposed to be a temporary thing until he could find another person. I was told after a few weeks that it was God's calling for me and that I should stick around. I now understand that he just didn't want to find somebody else and have to pay them to do it. I also didn't get sick very often, so the small handful of times that I have been sick in the past few years, the service was just canceled for a week. Now the update this morning. The pastor's son, yes, the same one who I was supposed to teach lessons to, is apparently on Reddit. He ended up seeing my post, recognizing the situation, and showed it to his dad, who in turn came to our house this morning to talk about it. It was a very unexpected start to my day, especially because I hadn't read any of the responses yet, and I didn't know if I was in the right or wrong. He tried convincing my parents that Satan was working through me, causing me to give into temptation of homosexuality. He wanted me to start doing weekly one-on-one spiritual sessions with him to work through this temporary slip in faith. He also tried to convince me again that by coming back and giving my gift of music back to God, that God, in turn, would help me work through the sins that I was committing. My parents ended up asking him to leave, and him coming to my house to talk about my sexuality has kind of solidified my choice in staying away. My phone has also not stopped blowing up with congregation members trying to get me to go back. It is exhausting to constantly see messages, to the point that I'm considering changing my phone number. At this point, I want to smash my guitar on the ground and never touch it again. Part of me still feels guilty about everything, but I think that comes from the fact that I dedicated so many years of my life to the church, especially because I did it so young. I don't know where I stand on religion right now. I have a lot more things to work through before I can even start to think about that again. I saw a few people that suggested that I go to therapy so I can talk to somebody, and I'm starting to look for a therapist. I also might switch from online university classes to in-person at the campus that I take through so that I can get out of the town for a bit as I'm working through everything. Thanks again to everyone who responded to the original post. This has been an incredibly weird situation for me, and I genuinely don't know what I would be doing right now if I didn't have so many people laying out everything to set me straight, so I could understand that I'm not in the wrong. I think that I might just have folded under pressure and gone back. Alright folks, what do you think of this update?
Well, I'm glad that this was able to help OP see that she's not in the wrong. It's unfortunate that the pastor is so manipulative and that the congregation people are still harassing OP. I mean, they're exploiting her, they're not being good people, and they just need to stop.
Yeah, I think that the church and OP have very much a difference of opinion on this matter. And I think that OP deserves to be in a group of people who love and accept her for who she is and don't try to change her or manipulate her. So I am glad that OP is able to see this for what it is and, you know, hopefully continue to move forward in their life. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What is the difference between a monster and peanut butter?
45.
A monster doesn't stick to the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, so 45.
No.
And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday. Congratulations, we made it to the end of the week. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it in exactly 7 words.
Not everything in life is a competition.
Wow, I'm impressed. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
My phone has also not stopped blowing up with congressional members' congregation. Congress isn't contacting OP. My phone also has not stopped blowing up with congregation. Why do I want to say Congress?